All right, ready to dive deep into Negativland.
Always ready for Negativland.
They're not just a band, right? Culture jammers, satirists, pioneers.
Absolutely, yeah. And they were really ahead of their time, I think, predicting, how we'd all be missing with sound in the digital age. Like, they saw it coming.
So let's rewind. Way back, 1979, Concord, California, Mark Hosler and Richard Lyons. That's where it starts.
With their first album in 1980, already experimenting.
Found sounds, tapes.
Oh, yeah, they were manipulating tapes like crazy, real hands-on, like sculpting, but with sound.
And it kind of set the stage for what they became known for, right? Using all that
Yeah.
to make a statement.
Social commentary woven right into the music.
I can picture them, hunched over these tape recorders, splicing together bits of radio, TV ads, even like those old instructional records.
And then it all comes together.
Escape from Noise, 1987. That's when
Wow.
people really started to pay attention.
Yeah, that album. It's a whirlwind. Samples, found sounds, and this biting commentary.
It just hits you.
What gets me is how they take all these like totally random things and make a story out of it. It all makes sense, It makes you think.
It's not just noise. It's carefully put together.
It's exactly.
And then the Christianity is stupid hoax. Talk about subversive.
Oh, man. Classic Negativland.
They basically made up this whole press release, right,
Yeah.
to get out of touring. So the cops were stopping them because their song, Christianity is Stupid, supposedly caused this teenager
To
to...
murder his family. Wild, right?
But it was satire.
Pure satire. They were poking fun at the media, how easily we believe stuff, especially if it scares us.
Especially if it plays on, like, our prejudices.
Exactly.
So it was a prank, but with a point. Made you question everything you read. And speaking of questioning things, we got to talk about U2. The lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. That's the big one.
Huge. It wasn't just a legal battle. It became like this cultural moment. Fair use, copyright, artistic freedom, all of it.
The whole debate.
1991, Negativland drops this single, and they call it U2. And the cover, a U2 spy plane. Talk about blurring the lines.
Oh, yeah. They knew what they were doing.
Musically, it was brilliant. Taking U2's hit song and turning it on its head. Kazoos, distorted samples.
And then there's Casey Kasem, the radio guy, dropping F-bombs during a recording session. They sampled that.
Island Records, U2's label, were not happy.
Not one bit.
Sued them for trademark infringement. Said it would confuse fans. Make them think U2 was behind it.
Which, let's be honest, was kind of the point. I mean, talk about pressure. A small band going up against this giant corporation.
Like David and Goliath. But they didn't back down, did they?
Nope. They fought back. And not just for themselves, for every artist who uses samples, collage,
Making a stand.
Totally. And that whole experience, that lawsuit, it changed them, made them passionate about fair use.
Right.
About the whole copyright system, especially with digital stuff exploding.
And they took that fight public, didn't they? Fair use. The story of the letter U and the numeral 2.
Yep.
Documented the whole battle, the whole legal mess. Argued that they were transforming the material, creating something new.
Not just stealing it.
Right. And that book, it's still important for artists, lawyers, anyone who cares about creativity in the digital age. It helped shape the conversation.
And then there's this crazy twist in the story.
Oh, yeah. Tell me you're about to talk about Mondo 2000.
Mondo 2000 magazine, they set up an interview. Negativland gets to interview The Edge from U2.
Oh, man. That was Are You Serious, the publisher. He knew what he was doing, orchestrating that meeting. The band that got sued, interviewing the guy whose music they sampled. Genius.
So starts off normal, talking about U2's tour, how they use samples in the music.
Setting the scene.
And then bam, Negativland drops the bomb. We're the band you sued.
I can only imagine the Edge's face.
Awkward.
Totally. But brilliant, like performance art, turning the whole thing on its head.
And The Edge, he actually admitted that U2 didn't want to sue. Tried to stop it, but the label was already going full steam ahead. Wow. Shows you, sometimes the artists, they're on the same page. But the corporations, the labels, they have their own agenda.
So you have these two bands kind of respecting each other. While the suits are duking it out, the music industry can be messed up, can't it? Art caught in the crossfire.
For sure. But the U2 lawsuit, it made Negativland, like these heroes, champions of fair use, artistic freedom. But their impact, it goes way beyond that. They were pioneers of culture jamming. They coined that term back in '84.
Culture jamming. For those who don't know, what's that all about?
It's activism, using satire, remixing, messing with media to challenge the mainstream narrative, reclaiming the airwaves, fighting back against the messages that bombard us every day.
And Negativland, they were masters of it. Went after everyone, Radio stations, corporations, you name it.
They even spoofed Clear Channel, the huge radio conglomerate, made fake broadcasts, sounded totally real, critiquing their influence, how they homogenize everything.
Oh, fear. Taking on the big guys.
Yeah.
Using their art as a weapon.
And it wasn't just music. Don Joyce, a core member, he hosted this legendary radio show, Over the Edge, on KPFA in Berkeley.
A haven for the experimental. Pushing the boundaries of radio.
He could weave together anything. Music, spoken word, found sounds, interviews, you name it. It was captivating.
Unpredictable.
Yeah, challenging, totally unique. It was more than a show, though. It was a community, artists, free thinkers, all coming together.
And that sense of community, it was at the heart of Negativland.
Yeah.
Not just a band, but a collective.
Yeah.
Always looking to connect with people.
And collaborate. They did an EP with Chumbawamba, the British band, the ABCs of anarchism. Punk energy meets sonic collage.
Powerful stuff. And speaking of pushing boundaries, there's Negativland Land.
Oh yeah, their 25th anniversary art exhibit.
It was like their whole vision exploded into this multimedia experience. Videos, sculptures made from junk, even an animatronic Abraham Lincoln.
A nod to their earlier work.
It showed they weren't just musicians. Visual artists, commentators, tech innovators, always pushing, always asking, what can art be? It's amazing they did so much. Music, art, activism, all with technology and humor woven in.
Yeah, true Renaissance artists. Not limited by any one thing. They saw how it all connected.
And they were never afraid to stir things up, right? Controversy seemed to follow them.
Oh, they embraced it. Used it to make people think, to question things.
You think that was key to their success? Pushing those buttons.
I think so, yeah. Controversy can spark change. Makes you confront things, uncomfortable truths. Negativland, they didn't shy away from those. They went right at them, used their art to make a statement.
And they always did it with a wink, a little humor.
It's disarming. You're laughing, but you're also thinking, wait a minute.